What we're trying to understand tonight is the idea of Chodesh Shvat, the month of Shvat. What is the context of Chodesh Shvat? What creates the month of Shvat? And because of that, we also have a minor Yom Tov, which is the holiday of Tu B'Shvat, or the 15th day of Shvat. So we're going to understand a few things, and then we're going to get into this a little bit deeper. So in general, the months are divided into two groups. There's the summer months and the winter months. The summer months, we're not going to talk about now because it's not summer, but the winter months is the months that represents a time that initially people go into hibernation, just like everything else in creation. People become more insular and inward focused. And that's the month of Cheshvan, that's the rainy month. Then slowly people are getting out of their shell. They're becoming less hibernating because the season was changing. It's getting a little warmer, the days are getting longer. And then Teves is a month of relationships with people. And Chodesh Shvat, Kabbalistically, according to the deeper readings of the Torah, is connected with relationships with people, a person's relationship with the objects in his or her life. We have a lot of stuff in our life, and some people have a lot of this type of stuff. What's the relationship with stuff? It can be money, and more specifically, in Chodesh Shvat, it's particularly related to food. What's our relationship with food? How are we supposed to relate to the things in our life that are stuff, that are external to us, but we're completely dependent on them? We need these things in our life. We need clothes, we need food, we need these things in our life, but we don't want to become completely obsessed with these things and completely dependent on these things that we can't live without them. So on the one hand, we need these things. On the other hand, we don't want to become obsessed with them. What is a fine and healthy balance between relating to the objects in our life, the stuff in our life, in a healthy way? On Tu B'Shvat, there's a custom to eat fruits. And according to a lot of tzaddikim, the idea of Tu B'Shvat is to rectify, is to do a tikkun for achila, for eating, and specifically also related to the eating, related to the eating of the Chet Sawdust, the eating of the tree of knowledge. The Talmidim, the students of the Ramban, bring down a story like this, that there was once a student that came to a great teacher and asked the teacher to be accepted in his academy. And the teacher tested the student, and the student was very well versed, and asked the student, have you reached a place of ishtavos, equanimity? So the teacher said, when they praise you, when people are praising you, do you feel good about yourself? He says, sure. No, most people, when they praise you, you feel good about yourself. He says, how about when people make fun of you? Or they criticize you, do you feel bad about yourself? So he said, yes. So he told him, go back and come back to me only when you've reached a place that if a person's praising you or mocking you, it means the same thing to you. You're completely unaffected with what people are saying. It sounds like apathy. But we're talking about it, and we're not only talking about an apathy towards other people, we're talking about an apathy that actually extends to every element of life. What's apathy that extends to every element of life? And this is also a teaching that from the Baal Shem Tov, incidentally. The Baal Shem Tov speaks about Shavisi Hashem l'negdi sameh. You should put Hashem in front of me at all times. Says the Baal Shem that the word Shavisi comes from the word Shaveh, which is shtavut, equanimity. And he says this is related to people affecting others and also related to food. That it also with regards to food. And for example, you have a choice. You can have coffee, you can have water. If you're addicted to coffee or you like coffee, you're going to have coffee. You go into a restaurant, you go to have supper, and you have options of food. You're going to say you're choosing this food over that food. The moment you choose one food over the other food, that means that you're affected by something that's external to you. If you wake up in the morning and the sun is shining and you say, you know, today's going to be a great day. It's a good statement. But the flip side of that is, when you wake up in the morning and it's dark and it's rainy, what do you say? You don't really say anything. You just turn around and go back to sleep. So that means that you're completely enslaved to the externals. Whatever the situation that comes up in front of you is dictating to you how you're going to feel about yourself. If someone comes over to you and says, by the way, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're a very intelligent person, you feel, hey, well, good person. But if someone says, by the way, you're all the opposite things that I just said, then you really feel bad about yourself. So you're completely dependent on someone else's opinion about you, who you are. That's the opposite of ishtavut. That's the opposite of equanimity. You're completely enslaved to others' opinions, other foods, things that are external. Stage 3 says, or this is what the Mukabalim, the students of Nachmanides, teach, is practice this idea of ishtavus, equanimity. This is also, incidentally, a tikkun for the Chet Etzadas, right? We're saying that Tu B'Shvat is a tikkun. The eating of Tu B'Shvat, or healthy eating, creates a tikkun for unhealthy eating. The most unhealthy eating was in the story of the Chet Etzadas, in the Garden of Eden. And what does it say about in the story in the Garden of Eden? Mikol ha'etz ha'echad ha'achal, from all the trees you should eat. Rak me'etz ha'chaim, from the tree of life you shouldn't eat. When you're going to eat from it, you're going to die. What does that mean? The way the Mukabalim read this is not that there's a prohibition to eat one tree. The prohibition to eat is any single tree. If you single out a tree, if you single out a fruit and say, I want to eat that over that, that's the problem. That's not equanimity. If you say Eitz HaChaim is every tree. Every reality both has Eitz HaChaim and Eitz HaDas. Every reality has all reality. But if you say I want this because this is specific to this, meaning I'm singling this out of something else, that's the Chet. So according to this reading, the Chet Eitz HaDas is the opposite of equanimity. Because they said, I want to treat one tree over all the other trees. Any tree. But if it's one tree over the other, that's already not equanimity. And what's equanimity? Equanimity is basically you say that I'm not affected by what other people say. I'm not affected by anything that's external to me. I'm okay. Whatever is in front of me, I eat in order to be satisfied. And we can't live on stage 3 for a lot of reasons. A, because we become apathetic, and we become completely disengaged, and we might as well live like monks in a mountaintop. You can't get stage 3. It's not supposed to be a way of living. It's a way of being for a certain period of time. Another problem is, let's say someone criticizes you, right? Someone criticizes you. So if you're in stage 3, who cares? It's not my problem, it's their problem. But what happens if they're actually saying something that's true? Then you're not being hurt, but you should listen to them. If you say, okay, I'm not really caring. So there's value to just not stopping at stage 3. But the point is, we have to get to stage 4. Stage 4 is like this. Stage 4 is not only a stage that is outside of 3. Stage 4 is what is called, it's a word, it's called inclusive transcendence. Inclusive transcendence is like this. Inclusive transcendence means you reach a point where the transcendence includes everything below it. Normally when we think of movement, spiritual progress, or movement in our life, you think of that we give up things, we move further and further. The ultimate tshuva shlema, when you say a person is doing complete tshuva, or healthy growth, is when it's whole, right? Like the word kaddish, literally in the word in English, is whole, holy. Something that is inclusive. I move ahead, and then I include everything. I move forward, and then I include everything else. The highest level of kedusha, the highest level of living, is the re-engagement of stage 4, but you're coming from a place where there's a strong element of detachment. You're coming to attachment, which we'll call it a holy attachment, a holy re-engagement from a place of non-attachment, or a place that you're not connected. Eat as much as you want, enjoy life, enjoy the enjoyments of life. Hashem created the world to enjoy it. But remember that the enjoyments of life is a glimmer of the presence of the Shekhinah's, of Hashem's enjoyment. And the way to do that practically is when you come from a place of hishtavos and a place of refraining, we can also engage, and also in a healthy way. You want to buy shoes? Buy shoes. But no, if you're not going to buy the shoes, it's not going to be the end of the world. You want to buy this, you want to buy that, you want this, you want that. Gesundheit. That's an neshama telling you that you have to do elevation. Bir hanetzutzos, the sparks that are connected with you, you have to elevate them. True. How do we know if you're deceiving yourself, or you're just giving yourself, is it true, or you're just making up a nice story so you can actually get those new shoes? Or how do you know? What happens if someone says it's not available? It's not available. You want it, it's not available. So if you feel down, that means that you're really connected to it. If not, you say, okay, so it's not available. That's also the divine plan of creation. The creation, Hashem wants us to want it. No one says I shouldn't want it. I can give it up. You have something, you're meant to have it. When you lose it, you're not meant to have it. You have a watch, you love your watch, you love it, you love your scarf. I don't know if you love it, but you like your scarf. You really feel attached to your scarf. Gesundheit, it's your scarf. The moment it gets lost, it gets lost. That was also the intention. That's the level of connection from a place of separation.